Sixth grade, Module 3, Lesson 7, Classwork. Exercise 1. Graph the number 7 and its opposite on the number line. So let's graph 7 and its opposite, which would be -7. Graph the number 5 and its opposite on the number line. So 5 and its opposite, -5. B, where does 7 lie in relation to 5 on the number line? So we're looking on the positive side, 7 in relation to 5. So 7 is 2 units to the right of 5. Where does the opposite of 7 lie on the number line in relation to the opposite of 5? So the opposite of 7 is 2 units to the left of -5. D, I am thinking of 2 numbers. The first number lies to the right of the second number on a number line. So just like B, 7 and 5, where 7 was 2 units to the right of 5. What can you say about the location of their opposites? So when we found the opposites for 7 and 5, we had -7 and -5, and it moved to the left. So what can you say about the location of their opposites? So on the number line, the opposite of the first number would be 2 units to the left of the second number. Just like we saw in our example above. Example 1. The record low temperatures for a town in Maine are -20 degrees Fahrenheit for January and -19 degrees Fahrenheit for February. Order the numbers from least to greatest. Explain how you arrived at that order. So we have -20 and -19, and we need to order those from least to greatest. So we're looking for the smallest one to the biggest one. And if we had, for example, 20 and 19, and we wanted to order those from least to greatest, we would say, okay, 19 and 20. But on a number line, if we have 0, here we would have 19, 20, a bunch of stuff in between. Then we would have, if we started labeling, we'd have -19, -20. And we're looking for whatever is closest to 0 is actually larger because it's, right? You'd rather owe someone $19 than owe them $20 because owing 19 is less than owing 20. So -19 is greater in this case than -20. So if we wanted to put them from least to greatest, we would have -20, -19. And we can say that -20 is farther from 0 than -19, so it is smaller. Exercises 2 through 4. For each problem, order the rational numbers from least to greatest by first reading the problem, then drawing a number line diagram, and finally explaining your answer. So we're going to read, draw, and then explain. Number 2, John's time for running the mile in gym class is 9 and 2/10 minutes. Jackie's time is 9 and 18/100 minutes. Who ran the mile in less time? Okay, so they're all positive, so I'm just going to start with 0 down here. 5. Actually, I'm just going to make it in between because they're both 9. So I'm just going to make this between 9 and 10. So this would be 9 and 5/10, 9 and 1/10, 9 and 2/10, 9 and 3/10, 9 and 4/10. Okay, so John's time was 9 and 2/10 minutes, so let's label John at 9 and 2/10. And then Jackie's time was 9 and 18/100 minutes. So here we have to have a little bit of number sense. We need to know that 9 and 2/10 is the same as 9 and 20/10. And so we're 9 and 1/10 is the same as 9 and 10/100. So in between 9 and 10/100 and 9 and 20/100 will be 9 and 18/100, which would be about right there. So that would be Jackie right here. And we want to know who ran the mile in less time. So the person who is closest to 0 over this way would be Jackie. So Jackie ran in less time, and if we want to order it, we would say 9 and 18/100 and then 9 and 2/10. So let's say I drew a number line and graphed 9 and you could leave it as 20/100 and 9 and 18/100. 9 and 18/100 is closer to 0. So it is less time than 9 and 20/100. Number 3, Mrs. Rodriguez is a teacher at Westbury Middle School. She gives bonus points on tests for outstanding written answers and deducts points for answers that are not written correctly. She uses rational numbers to represent the points. She wrote the following on students' papers. Student A, -2 points. Student B, -2 and 5/10 points. Did student A or student B perform worse on the test? Okay, number line. I'm just going to start it. Never mind, we have negatives, so I'm actually going to put 0 on the other end. So we'll have -1, -2, -3. So student A had -2 points. So this is student A. Student B had -2 and 5/10 points. So 2 and 5/10 would be right in the middle of -2 and -3. So that's student B. Did student A or student B perform worse on the test? So who had more points deducted? In this case, if we were to order them, -2 is closer to 0, so it is less than, or are we ordering from, what did it say? For each problem, right, order the rational numbers from least to greatest. So here, the least number, the number furthest from 0, is B, -2 and 5/10. And then -2 is a little bit larger because it's a little bit closer to 0. So we could say that, did student A or student B perform worse on the test? So we'd say student B performed worse on the test my number line shows that negative 2 5/10 is less than negative 2, and therefore student A had fewer points deducted. But not much. I mean, only half a point. Number 4, a carp is swimming approximately 8 1/4 feet beneath the water surface, and a sunfish is swimming approximately 3 1/2 feet beneath the water surface. Which fish is swimming further beneath the water surface? Okay, so for this, I'm going to do a number line all the way over here. I'm going to do a vertical number line. And I'll put 0 up here because we're all talking about beneath the water surface. So these are going to be negative because we're talking about under the water. So a carp is swimming approximately 8 1/4 feet beneath the water surface. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 1, negative. I'm going to do my labels. And 8 1/4, I'm going to need to separate those into fourths. So this is where 8 1/4 is, and that was the carp. And I'll just put negative 8 1/4. And then the sunfish is swimming approximately 3 1/2 feet beneath the water surface. So 3 1/2 below the sea surface would be right here. And that is the sunfish. So we want to know which fish is swimming further beneath the water surface. So you can see that if this was the water, there's the water level. All of this is water. Then who's swimming further beneath the surface? Well, the carp is all the way down here, and the sunfish is closer to the surface. So we can say the carp is swimming farther below the surface than the sunfish. I drew a vertical number line. And negative 8 1/4 is farther from 0 than negative 3 1/2. Example 2. Henry, Janet, and Clark are playing a card game. The object of the game is to finish with the most points. The scores at the end of the game are Henry -7, Janet 0, and Clark -5. Who won the game? Who came in last place? Use a number line model and explain how you arrived at your answer. Let's draw a number line. I'm going to put 0 down here. So we have 0 to -7. And let's go ahead and plot them. So let's see. Henry had -7. Henry at -7. Janet was at 0. And Clark was at -5. Who won the game? Who came in last place? So the object of the game is to finish with the most points. So it looks like, none of them did very well. But you want to have the most points. So in this case, the greatest number is 0, Janin. So Janin won. So Janin came in first, and then who came in last? That would be Henry came in last. We can say, we need to explain how we got our answer. So I ordered the numbers. On the number line. And -7 is the farthest to the left. So -7 is the smallest. -5 is the second smallest. And 0 is the greatest. Exercises 5 through 6. For each problem, order the rational numbers from least to greatest by first reading the problem, then drawing a number line, and finally explaining your answer. So exactly what we were just doing. Henry, Janet, and Clark are playing another round of the card game. Their scores this time are as follows. Clark, -1, Janet, -2, and Henry, -4. Who won? Who came in last? So we have 0 to -4. And Clark got -1. Janin got -2. And Henry got -4. So this time, the person who won was Clark. Clark won. Henry lost. Or, both of them, both Henry and Janet lost, but we can say Henry came in last. If we want to order them from least to greatest, we would have -4, -2, and 0, as you can see on the number line. I just copied it in that order. And if we want to explain, we can say I ordered them on the number line. And -4 is the farthest from 0. So it's the smallest. -2 is next. Wait, we didn't even have a 0. Sorry. Not -2, or not 0, -1. -2 is next, and then -1. Number 6. Represent each of the following elevations using a rational number, then order the numbers from least to greatest. So, Cayuga Lake, 122 meters above sea level, so that means it's positive 122. 1,629 meters above sea level for Mount Marcy, so above again means that's positive 1,629. And then 15 and 24 meters below sea level, that would be negative because it's below. We do need to draw a number line. So since this is sea level, I'm going to First, I'm going to erase some of this so I can use some of this space. So I'm going to draw a number line. I'll just use this yellow line. And let's plot. So I'm going to put 0. Since these are numbers that are really far apart, I'm just going to plot what I know. So 122, and we have 1,629. So I'm going to put 1,629 all the way up here. 122 would be maybe like about there. And negative 15 and 24 hundredths. It's going to be pretty close to 0 based on I have 1,000 all the way up at the top. So let's put those in order from least to greatest. So least would start down here at the bottom below 0. So we have a negative 15 and 24 hundredths. Next would be 122, and then 1,629. So we can say I drew a number line. Or we can even put I drew a vertical, just to be more specific. And negative 15 and 24 hundredths is the only number below 0. So it is the smallest. The next largest was 122. And the largest was 1,629. Okay, this last part is just something that you might have done in class. It was a little game, so if you did that, great. It's not something that I'm going to go through. But then that is the end.